Hello, everyone. I'm Tyrone Starkey, CEO of Community Heroes, and I'm taking the time out to discuss a topic that, it's kind of, really personal for me, but the topic today is about being a parent and having a disability. And in my situation, it'd be severe disability. So we're just going to touch on a couple of topics here, some main points that affect me directly, and please, at the end of the video when we post it, leave any kind of questions, comments, feedback. We always appreciate those type of things. Okay, so um, as many of you may know, I have a son that will be 4 years old in November. Um, and he's very rambunctious all over the place. Maybe a typical 4 year old. But initially, when I was, just working and everything like that, I was kind of skeptical about whether or not I would be a parent because I just know how tough it was for me on a day-to-day basis. Just trying to do things and fit in, and you know, you have your bouts of sometimes you wish you could do things that you couldn't do, and you know, as I got older, I was like, I don't know if I could, you know, have a child and have them go through some of those things because it's kind of tough, and also not to mention the possibility of you got to look at genetics. You're looking into the probability of if the child would have your condition or not. And I'm a believer in God, and I believe that God has the last say so. But I believe also He gave us wisdom, and we should always look into research and just to get a general understanding of what could happen. So I had all those dynamics going on. Um, early on when I was a young man. And so when I met my wife, and we just got to talk about our goals and what the things we want to do in life. We started talking about a family, and we were like, well, we want to pray about it. We both believe in God, and we were like, no matter what the child was, kind of condition he would have, we would love it, regardless. So we did the steps to try to become parents, but us we had some issues ourselves. Not well for us, our main issue was that we didn't know that there was um, fertility issues, and you know, for us it was more so me. Uh, so we had really about 2 years of going back and forth, just you know, doing different things, and that's a whole nother story. Share. I may share too much, because it is a sensitive subject, but I think it's one that needs to be shared because there's a lot of couples who are trying to start a family and run into those kind of hiccups. But that's for another story. So, when then we did become successful and found out that Josiah would eventually be here with us, you know, and like independent, you're excited, you're preparing, you're looking at baby stuff and all that stuff, and for me, I was excited but at the same time scared. And one of the biggest things I remember I was scared about was when the time comes and the water breaks, you know, how am I gonna get my wife to the hospital, and hopefully it don't happen when I'm laying in the bed. That was always I don't want the water to break while I'm laying down. Then I can't get up. And I remember, this lady, and almost she's like family me, Miss Elaine Strohs, and she was our doula. And I remember when we would sit down and I would talk to her and I would tell her those things and we would laugh about it. But she calmed me down and told me that, God has everything in control. And then when that time came, there would be people around to make sure that things went accordingly, and it did. When the time came, I remember, never forget it. My wife picked me up from work, and we went to Popeyes, and she was eating at Popeyes, me, her, and a coworker, and she left, and everything was going fine. And when we got back, at the time we were staying in an apartment, got into the apartment, and she got out, and she dashed to the convenience store. We stay close by a convenience store. I'm like, what in the world going on? She's dashing. And, she came back, she was like, I think I lost the plug. And, if you know my pregnancy, most, the plug is. So I was like, okay. So I remember when we had that, and we were walking. Well, she was walking, I was riding. The plug was gone. She still wasn't dilated enough. So we walked that night. And I never forget, we went around for about half a mile walking, and I'm just beside her in my wheelchair riding, and she's walking. This dark at night, and through the night she was having these tractions behind you. Then the next day the doctor was like, "It's still not dilated." My wife wasn't too happy about that. And then we found that out. He was like, "If you feel like you can't take it no more, come back later on tonight." And I said about 3 hours later, my wife was like, "That's it. We're going into the hospital." And she was dilated enough, but I remember I stayed in my chair for about 20 hours. I didn't get out of my chair until I saw my son delivered, and I cut the umbilical cord. And you know, this in his face, it's unexplainable. You can't put into words that experience. But from that day forth, I remember just him being out, and with my condition, and I think I said before, if you've seen the R.J. Allen interview, my condition, it causes muscle weakness, also constriction of the muscles, and and I have very limited movement, but um, you know I had a good support system around me, so I couldn't hold my son when he was first born. I couldn't hold him in my arms because I wasn't strong enough. But I remember the nurse made sure she held him close enough to when he came out, I could kiss him on his forehead, you know, and I could hold his hand. And, whenever we got home, there was things like we would put him on a platform where he was high enough where I could, rub his back and do things like that. I never had a chance to really hold him while he was a baby, but I did do a lot of other things, feed him, talk to him all the time, uh, talk to him like I'm talking to you guys now. And I think that's one of the main things now. If you have a chance to talk to my son, he is very talkative, and he talks really well for someone going on 4 years old. And so, that is one thing as being disabled. I had to find out, you know, there's a lot of things that I can do, but there are things that I can do that are very impactful. Showing him, you know, the ways of life, explaining to him why things are happening. Um, just having dialogue with him on a constant basis. Um, let him understand, that this is your mom, I'm your dad, this is your nana, and then let him know the hereditary aspect of that. And, you know, being disabled, you have to find out what things you can do, because you'll find out quickly there's a lot of things you can do, but you have to be creative. He loves the climb. He jumps all over the place. So, of course, I got to play with him. He wants to play. So, we'll play hide and go seek, and I'll try to find somewhere to hide, and he'll chase me, or he'll want to hop on the back of my chair and I'll ride him around. Or, we may sit down and just watch a movie. You know, um, I explained to him, there are things I can't do. And I think he understands that. He's very helpful. He wants to help put my seatbelt on. He wants to help put my shoes on. He wants to help pick me up. He's not strong enough for that yet. He wants to help out a lot doing things. Um, and I thank God for that because he could be the type that doesn't want to do that. Also, just whenever you find yourself in as a parent with a limitation, um, and for me, sometimes you find yourself wondering how you're gonna how they're gonna maybe view you when they get out in public, especially as they get older. Now, like I said, he's 4, but whenever you get when you get older, other kids aren't as understanding because sometimes they don't have the exposure that your child may have. So they may mock what they say. Sometimes they don't really mean it intentionally, but it's because they don't understand. So I wonder sometimes when he goes to grade school, how would that affect him when he encounters that first instance where another child will question and may even mock and make fun. And I had a glimpse of that one time. I remember we were out and this one kid, I think, was making some question and he was asking questions that with the way I see it, a lot of kids say, why is he laying down? Because it looks like I'm laying down. And he pointed and kind of laughed a little bit, and I never forget this. So I said, he said, "Don't laugh, that's my daddy." And he was protective. So yeah, I didn't know how to take that. At that time, I was like, well, I know he's protective, but I guess when he gets older, I have to let him know that some don't let his anger overwhelm him in certain situations. So I guess other things as a parent, with someone with a severe disability, one of the most amazing things people ask me, when they see me, my wife, and my son, and both of them are quote unquote normal, and especially my son running all over the place. And one thing people always ask me, did you ever think you would see yourself with a son that was able-bodied without your condition, running around? And I think I kind of touched on that earlier. No, uh, I didn't really envision it, but again, as I mentioned before, you know, we don't know what God has in store. Just all we can do is be patient and see. What He has. We know it's good, but sometimes you just gotta be patient and see. And never in my wildest dreams I thought I would see, my son and some of the things that he does to amaze me on a daily basis, every day. So, no, the question that no, I never thought I would see myself looking at a mini me running all over the place. Um, and as far as major stuff, I think I touched on everything for this video. Um, I said, and this right here is more so like an open dialogue. So I just wanted to share a little bit about my experience as a parent um, in an unable relationship with a child. Please feel free to subscribe, like, and comment on our YouTube channel. Uh, Also, check out our official webpage, www.communityheroes.net, and all our other social media platforms are up there. So, we have our Facebook, our Twitter, Instagram icons right there. Also, we have merchandise. You can buy shirts and If you like what you're seeing, please check out our mission, see what our goals are. We truly appreciate any donation that will help us broaden this organization and spread our message out to Wayne County and beyond, hopefully. Again, hopefully someone will take something from this video. Be safe, and we will see you in the next video.